Welcome back.
This is the Whisky Couch in Pretoria, South Africa.
And we are your hosts. I'm Gustav,
And I'm Elna.
South Africa's very own whiskey couple. This is Whiskey Tasting and Food Pairing Review number 182, and it is the fourth whiskey in this third bracket of 5 12-year-old single malts that we are reviewing and doing food pairing with. And it is the Glenfarclas 12-year-old. That is the bottle there from the Glenfarclas distillery. It is bottled at 43% ABV. And this distillery, of course, founded in 1836, situated in the very well-known Speyside region. So I'm going to put the map here right in front of us so that you can see the lowlands and the highlands. And then up in the highlands, there we go, that's the Speyside region. And that is where the Glenfarclas distillery is situated. It is still family owned by J&G Grant.
Glenfarclas means Valley of the Green Grass.
Yep, and if I'm not mistaken, their copper pot stills are to this day direct fired instead of steam heated, which of course gives it a bit more of a caramelized flavor profile, the Glenfarclas whiskies. And
we've got a couple of pictures here.
Yep, we've got a couple of pictures. There we go. That's Glenfarclas in the winter time. That must have been a very cold winter. And that is in summertime, Glenfarclas distillery. So 12-year-old from the Glenfarclas distillery, a single malt whiskey, matured in oak casks, but a lot of sherry influence, and that is what makes Glenfarclas almost famous. The sherry cask influence. 43% natural color, no coloring added, but I couldn't get any information about chill filtration on this particular expression. So there we go. Look at that color. Amber, dark gold, amber color, and maybe a few legs forming there. Glenfarclas.
Definitely honey. Lots and lots of honey.
Sherry casks. Sweet. It's got a sweet
very
nose.
Sweet, yeah. I think that's why I say the honey. It's the sweetness, but also raisins.
Caramel. And again the sherry.
Oh yes, dominant sherry.
Yeah. On the palate, slange.
Slange. Wow, interesting. Taste a little bit of dark chocolate. That's really interesting, the dark chocolate. I wasn't expecting that.
And the sweetness of the nose transferring to the palate. Fruity, malty.
Nuts as well.
Cereal. I'm getting that bitter chocolate that you're talking about sort of towards the end. But the sherry is also on the palate. Caramel sauce. Almost like baked or cooked fruit and nuts in caramel sauce.
Oh,
that, There's a slight, very slight herbal note and an earthy note that I'm picking up, actually both on the nose and on the palate.
Now that you mention it, yeah. Earthiness.
Like a Dunwich warehouse.
But it's also light. I experience light. It's a light whiskey.
It's not a heavy bodied.
It's a light whiskey.
Very full bodied. It is more towards lightness. And the finish, it's got a medium finish. Not for me personally, not a long finish at all.
Yeah. Finish also, I experience vanilla now.
Some bourbon cask.
But again, the honey.
Vanilla.
The honey is very prominent for me.
caramel. For me, the finish caramel, woody, and again the bitter chocolate. Like the balance between the sherry casks and the bitter chocolate brings that balance. Let's see what a few drops of water. 43%, so I'm adding a few drops of water to see what will happen. And I'm going to get the glass a bit closer to the camera so that you can see the influence of the water. It's quite a decent dram here, I must say. I like Glenfarclas as a distillery and most of their expressions. So after the caramelized brown sugar, after the water.
After the water, sweet.
Sweet caramelized brown sugar.
I also, there's a hint of red wine. I would say there's the sweetness, but also the red wine.
And some more sherry for me on the palate. Oh, now with the water it's even lighter. Sweet sherry.
I get the caramelized nuts now a lot more prominent as without the water.
I actually like this very much. For me, this is almost like a pre-dinner whiskey with the lightness. Especially if compared to the Edredauer and the Dalmor that we've already done. I'd like to quickly emphasize the importance or the handiness of a flavor wheel. There we go. Elna, I'm always blocking you out. Let's go this side this time around. A flavor wheel, you can actually Google them. And I've got quite a number of them. This is like a flavor chart. And another kind of flavor wheel. And you get the bourbon flavor wheels. It's very handy, especially if you're new in whiskey. And it gives all the sort of categories. Let me hold it quite close. The categories, flavor categories. And then it breaks it up in more and more detail. It helps one to develop like a whiskey vocabulary. And to take a whiskey and to go through the flavor wheel and just ask yourself, am I picking up this or that or the other? Always very subjective, which makes it very interesting because you might pick up something, I might pick up something different.
And nobody's wrong.
Yes.
Nobody can be wrong.
And that makes it an adventure. And the same, of course, for the flavor profile. So if I have to summarize the Glenfarclas 12-year-old single malt whiskey, I would say baked fruit and nuts with dark chocolate and caramel sauce. I would say that is my summary. Here in South Africa, the price is 600 Rand, £50 in the UK, and around $60 in the US. And if you want to pair this whiskey with its distinctive caramel elements in the flavor profile, and we are continuing our crepe theme, then I would say go for a caramelized pecan nut pie filling. In some countries they say pecan nut, but we say pecan nut.
Pecan nut, yeah.
Pecan nut, caramelized pecan nut pie filling in this wonderful crepe. So the crepe will connect with the maltiness in this whiskey, and the caramelized pecan nut pie filling will connect to the nutty caramel sweet sherry notes in the whiskey. And we're going to see if we can, you go first, see if you can get a piece going there. We always say the Whiskey Couch is the place where whiskey and food come together in adventurous harmony. Did you manage to get a piece out there?
Thank you.
So let me try.
It looks delicious.
A crepe is such a versatile food snack. The caramelized pecan nut pie is a bit of a. There we go. I've got it. I have got it.
I love
I want more.
Yeah, yeah.
More and more. As I experience the flavors of the pecan nut pie filling and I nose the whiskey, I get more sherry on the nose. This is fabulous.
This is really good. This is really good.
I just want to finish the video and get some more of that crepe with pecan nut pie filling.
No, this is really
This is
good.
actually quite good.
This is a good one.
What flavors are emphasized with that food snack?
It's still light.
I'm getting more. It's almost as if suddenly there's a coffee flavor that comes to the surface after the food snack. Are you sensing anything else?
The nuts, the
On the
caramelized nuts is very prominent now. But it complements one another very well.
Love
The
this.
whiskey,
So shall we give the pairing a score?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, and I was thinking again, I'm thinking of the others, but it wasn't better than the others. It's still good, so I'm going to stick with a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
My score for this. Excellent. Thank you for watching and joining us on this 12-year-old single malt adventure. Next time we see you, it'll be for the 5th whiskey in this bracket, and it's going to be the Macallan Sherry Cask 12-year-old. So until then, sláinte.
Sláinte.